Thank you so much for supporting The Way of Success and George Johnson Ministries. Our ministry started from humble beginnings in Prattville, Alabama, with a clear word from the Lord. We preach the word, help the hurting, and love people. Our vision is quite clear. We reach the lost, transform lives, and equip believers to live in victory, success, and triumph. We operationalize the vision by the church going beyond its four walls and into the community using the platforms of television, radio, social media, conferences, and much more. Please partner with us today. You can do so by downloading the Givelify app. When you download the app, go to the search engine and type in The Way of Success Christian Fellowship. Under city and state, type in McDonough, Georgia. The rest is easy. Thank you again for supporting The Way of Success and George Johnson Ministries. Thank you so much for supporting The Way of Success and George Johnson Ministries. Our ministry started from humble beginnings in Prattville, Alabama, with a clear word from the Lord. We preach the word, help the hurting, and love people. Our vision is quite clear. We reach the lost, transform lives, and equip believers to live in victory, success, and triumph. We operationalize the vision by the church going beyond its four walls and into the community using the platforms of television, radio, social media, conferences, and much more. Please partner with us today. You can do so by downloading the Givelify app. When you download the app, go to the search engine and type in The Way of Success Christian Fellowship. Under city and state, type in McDonough, Georgia. The rest is easy. Thank you again for supporting The Way of Success and George Johnson Ministries.
Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. So happy to see you guys tonight. Oh, man, I'm telling you guys, listen to me. The devil thought he won. I'm telling you, man. Listen, pastors, preachers, bishops, we don't get discount tickets, guys. We don't get discount tickets. So I'm telling you, guys, if I tell you what we had to experience to get this broadcast on, you wouldn't believe me. You'd be like, no, he's making that up. He gotta be making that up. No, I'm not. I promise you. I'm telling you. So happy to see you guys. Happy Sunday to you. I hope you guys had an amazing Sunday. We had a very uh, busy Sunday today. And so it was a very challenging Sunday, but we're here. And so we're so excited to share this word with you guys. Don't forget to tune in on Tuesday. I'll be ministering again on Tuesday. My wife ministers on Thursday. She's preaching a powerful series now called Four Destructive Wives. And guys, I'm telling you, if you haven't heard that one, you need to really hear that one. And I really want to encourage you to listen to this one this Thursday. The one this Thursday is going to go beyond just men, even though she's going to be tailoring it towards the wives. The one this Sunday is going to be dealing with a topic called a closed spirit. And so you really don't want to miss that. I mean, it's a really powerful message. I think she's going to share some personal testimonies that we had to personally overcome together when it came to what we call a closed spirit. If you're afraid to move on in a relationship, if you're afraid to take that next step, you want to listen to this message on a closed spirit, because it can cause a lot of damage and different things in your home and in your life. And you're wondering what's next for me. If you're wondering that, you need to really listen to this powerful message. But tonight I'm ministering on the last message on what's love got to do with not what love got to do with. I'm sorry. What does love look like? What does it look like? And I'll be ministering that. And then hopefully on next Sunday, I'll come to you with a new message. And the new message is going to be titled, Lord, Help Me, My Mind is Under Attack. And I'm going to be focusing on 4 areas: how to overcome depression, how to overcome fear, how to overcome discouragement, and most importantly, how to overcome guilt. We're going to be focusing on those 4 areas, how to overcome these areas. And we're going to deal with stress, worry, and fear at the same time. When I talk about fear, I'm going to be dealing with stress and worry. I'm telling you guys, listen, years ago when COVID hit in 2020, and people were saying, man, COVID will take you out. I mean, COVID will kill you. And I was telling a guy I had to speak at an event. And when I was ministering, I told him, I said, listen, there's something that'll kill you faster than COVID. Everybody was like, what was that? And I said, worry. Worry and stress will kill you a whole lot faster than COVID. And really, we've gotten a handle on COVID, but we still haven't gotten a handle on stress and worry and fear and anxiety. People are still having panic attacks and those different things. So we want to make sure that we minister in that area on next week. So you don't want to miss that. But tonight, we're going to be talking about where does love look like. And tonight, I'm going to be talking about what's damming the love flow. What's damming the love flow. My wife is the HOA president of our homeowners association here in our community. And she took over the woman, I think one lady, I think she served, I think for like maybe 10 years, I think. And so this year is my wife's first year, or is it her second year? I think it's her first year as the president of the homeowners association. And she was given a list of tasks and different things to do. But one of the things she do is that in our neighborhood, we have a lake. And the lake was being backed up. And so we was like, man, what's going on with that? So that was one of the things that she really had to think. So we thought the lake was being backed up. We said, well, man, they're doing a new development, maybe a couple of acres from where we are. I said, maybe we need to go back there. Maybe they're throwing some stuff in our water. I don't know. Because we never heard of a lake just backing up, because the lake would flow and it'll flow into my backyard. I have a thing in my backyard and it'll flow down into my backyard. And it just stopped. I mean, and we didn't know what was going on. And so we called out a specialist. And so, well, not we, my wife, she called, well, I'm president I guess I'm an administrative assistant, but I'm probably the worst administrative assistant you can have because I don't take notes or anything like that. I pretty much just give orders. So I don't know what you would call that. My wife's the president, but I pretty much give orders. I don't know what you would call them. Anyway, so in the when the person came out, her, my wife, and my boys, they all went back, and they all back there in the back of the lake in the woods. Now, if anybody don't know, Bishop, I don't do woods and outdoors. I ain't that ain't me. That is not. I don't do that kind of stuff now. But they all out there. My wife loves that kind of stuff, right? So they all out there behind the lake over there. Well, all kind of big snakes. I'm talking about them big snakes back there. So they all back there. And so my wife came out. She was laughing. I said, "What's going on?" She said, "Well, some beavers have dammed up the lake. Some beavers have dammed up the lake, and it's causing the water to be stagnant on this end, which is causing a lot of things to die and causing just it was really bad. But on this end, it was stopping the flow of water. So water just can't sit; it has to move, right? And that's what the thing was causing. But the beavers had built up this dam, and so it was blocking the water from flowing. So first thing my wife got to do was call out a person to trap the beavers, because Bishop ain't going there trapping nothing. So they called out some people. I think it was a beaver family of three. I think it was three beavers. They trapped the three beavers, moved them out, and then they had to go in now. My wife and I think my boys, they went back there and they unclogged the dam. They tore the dam up, and then the water just began to flow. It began to flow. Once they tore that dam up, that water just began to flow. That's the exact same thing I believe what's going on in your relationship right now, whether it's with your children, whether it's with your spouse, whether it's with your girlfriend, boyfriend, whether it's with just your friend, your homie. I believe that there's something that's damming up the love. Love is over here, but the relationship is over here. All this love and all these feelings and all these emotions on this side of the dam. And something has happened, and it is blocking the flow of the river of love, the river of affection, the river of joy. You know, your marriage is supposed to be marital bliss. You're supposed to look forward to coming home. You're not supposed to be sitting. One of my comedians, I was listening to this comedian the other day. He said he was sitting in the car. I don't want to say it because there are people who say Bishop is advocating this, but he'll sit in the car and then he'll be like, "Oh Lord, I got to go ahead and deal with all this right here." That's not how it's supposed to be when you come home. Your home is your safe haven. It's where you come to be recharged. So you should be excited. You should be joyful, man, to come into your home. One of my children, they run up and hug me every day when I come in. It's your home is supposed to be a place of you're married. You're supposed to have marital bliss. And the longer you're married, the more you know each other and the more you know each other's buttons, it's supposed to be even better, man. That's how your marriage is supposed to be. But something is damming up the flow. Something is damming it up. Something is stopping the flow from going into the relationship. Something is stopping the flow from going into the connection. Something is stopping the flow from y'all taking the next step. Something is stopping. It's something there that is stopping that flow. And that's why I titled this, What's Damming the Love Flow? Now, I'm only going to deal with 3 areas tonight. Actually, I'm only going to deal with 1. I'm going to probably have to come back later on in the year and deal with the other 2, because next week I'm going to start a new series. But there are 3 things that I know will dam up the love flow in your marriage, that will just stop it. I mean, it'll just stop it from flowing. And it'll build resentment. It'll build strife. It'll build animosity. It'll build all kinds of things in your marriage. It'll build, it will really bother you. I'm telling you. And so these 3 areas that we're going to talk about, we're only going to talk about one tonight, and then next week I'll come back. Well, I keep saying next week. I'm not going to come back next week and talk about it. I'll be back later on in the year, and I'll talk about the other 2, because I want to partner the other 2 with another teaching that I'll be doing later on in the year. But this first one, I know it's very critical. But there are 3 things. Number 1 is frustration. Number 2 is offense. And number 3 is unforgiveness. Those 3 things will block and stop the flow of love in your home. It'll stop it. It'll dam it up. Frustration, offense. And you know this thing about offense, I really wanted to deal with that tonight because some people are offensive and they don't know that they're offensive. They're offensive. I mean, they're really offensive and they don't know that they are. So frustration, offense, and unforgiveness. These 3 areas, if you don't attack them head on, it will destroy. I mean, it will destroy the flow of love in your home. It'll destroy it. I'm telling you, there will be no flow of love. It'll be really, really bad. So here's what I want to talk about tonight. I'm going to talk about the number 1. I believe this is at the top of the list, and that's frustration. So what is frustration? Frustration is what it calls frustration. That dam of frustration is when you're doing everything you can to meet everybody's need in the house, but then your needs are not being met. You're doing everything you can, man, to meet everybody's needs. You're being there for everybody. You're trying to make sure this, that. You're trying to be this kind of person. Because we're talking about love language now. That's what we began talking about at the beginning of the month. And so you're doing everything you can to serve that person's love language or your children's love language, and your needs are not being met. And because your needs are not being met, it is causing the flow of love to just stop. The person on this side, they're experiencing it. They're like, oh my God, it's wonderful. But you're on the other side. And that flow is not coming in your life. So what causes this to happen? Number 1, ignoring. You know, when people just ignore it like it's not even there, that's just selfish. But a lot of times people are ignoring it because they are afraid to confront. They're afraid to just say, hey, this is what's going on, and be an open book and talk about it, because I don't know why. I mean, but you should always be open to talk about it. And ignoring it is not going to make it go away. It's not going to go away because you're ignoring it. I was telling somebody that the other day, and we're going to talk about avoidance. That's the next one, ignoring. And then the next one is called avoiding it. You know, just some topics, you know, I ain't going to talk about that. You know, and then when you get ready to talk about it, you feel fear, you just back down from talking about it. And you're being blocked from how you truly feel because you don't run the person away. Because the person, when you start talking about it, act like a 2-year-old. They go and they pout, or they try to change the subject, or they be funny about very serious topics now, something that is very serious to you. But instead of us just talking about it and being adult about it, they want to just not talk about it. So then we just avoid it. We avoid it because we somehow feel that if I just avoid it, maybe they'll stay a little bit longer. So you put your happiness on the back burner because you avoided stuff. No, you deserve to be heard. And so avoidance can cause major frustration in your home, in your marriage, in your children. Avoiding things. You need to talk about stuff. Let me tell you something about my children. We talk about everything in our house. Everything. I would share a story with you, but I don't want to run the risk of embarrassing my oldest son. But we talk about everything. Everything in this house. And I have to tell my wife sometimes, hey, honey, you know, you got to keep that rated G. Because Kim can go there now. Don't let the little smile church speaking in tongues fool you. You know, she can be ratchet. I'm the non-ratchet one, right? I'm the non-ratchet. My wife can be very, very ratchet, but we talk about everything. We talk about everything so much, guys, in our home that sometimes my kids, they'll come in, they'll see me doing something, they'll just come and just start talking about stuff. And I'll tell them, hey, listen, man, you don't see them doing something. But avoiding it is not going to make it go away. You need to talk about it. Number 3, refusing to change. Refusing to change. I'm this way. I'm going to stay this way. I've always been this way. Well, you know what? Guess what? Being the way you are have gotten you to where you are. And if you want to go to the next level, you got to do something different. Unless you're just really happy with the way you are. And some people are like that. They're just happy. with where they are. They refuse to change. They're not going to change. They're going to stay the way they are, and they're not going to change. But if you want to be, see, one of my favorite preachers was Fred Price. God bless him. He went on to be with the Lord now. And his name, his ministry was Ever Increasing Faith. Ever Increasing Faith. Because your faith is supposed to be ever increasing. It's the exact same thing with your relationship. You should be always ever increasing. And the more you're together and the more you know each other, you should continue to be ever increasing. There's a gentleman who was the offensive coordinator for the Kansas City Chiefs. And he just got the job now with the Washington Commanders. Man, I cannot, his name escapes me now. My God, I can't. The Enemy. I think, excuse me, I'm sorry. Eric Bieniemy. I think that's his name. Anyway, don't call me. I think it's not Eric Bieniemy, but he's a black man. He's an office coordinator now for the office. He said something that was very critical in this interview this week. He said this. He said, once you become complacent in this business, he said, you are no longer relevant and you will lose your job. He said, you should never be comfortable in this business. He was talking about football. He said, in this business, once you become comfortable and relaxed, he said, you won't be relevant anymore and you'll lose your job. We need to think of our relationships that way. We shouldn't just be comfortable. There's a comfort level. But what I'm saying is we shouldn't just take things for granted. We should always be ever trying to impress our mates, impress our children. We should always be willing to do that, to move on in a higher thing and the thing that God has called you to think. The next one is faking it. Now, another thing that causes frustration is faking it. And I believe this is why a lot of men has left the church, is because they see this fakeness going on. You know, they spouse is one way in church, but then when they get home, the spouse is a monster. I've seen that. I've counseled people like that. You know, they spouse is this holy person in church. I'm telling you, man, I had a pastor friend of mine like that. He was one way in front of the people, but then when he got behind closed doors, man, he would let profanity fly. I couldn't understand it because, see, I'm the same way. My wife would tell you, I'm the same way with everybody. I'm not changing. I'm the same way. I don't be up and down, and I'm the same way. I'm gonna tell you what's on my mind. I'm gonna tell you how I feel because I expect you to tell me what's on your mind. I expect you to tell me how you feel. Now I gotta sometimes package it better. I know that, and I'm working on that. I sometimes have to maybe polish it a little bit because I can be rough around the edges. I know that. I know that I can be just rough around the edges at times, and I can be abrasive at times. And sometimes people take what I say and they think I hurt their feelings, but I expect people to be that way with me. Tell me my breath stink because I'll tell you if yours stink. I will tell you. I mean, isn't that bad? You have somebody you will walk around all day with stinky breath and nobody tells you. Nobody tells you. They act like that's normal. Come on, you should tell people, hey man, you need to take care of that. Bro, you smell. You need to take care of that. Oh, anyway, I digress. To just say, be real. Stop faking it. The last one is you're doing everything. I said this one, but you're meeting other people's needs, but you're ignoring your own needs. And so now you don't even know what you need anymore because you've been just ignoring their need. You've been ignoring what you think, what you feel. That will cause major frustration and that will dam up the love flow. It'll dam it up, man. And you will begin to move in the area of not only frustration, but you'll take the next level. And what you don't want in your home is strife. And that's what I'm going to come back and I'm going to talk about offense and I'm going to talk about unforgiveness. I'm going to come back and I'm going to teach on strife. And when I teach on strife, that's when I'm going to come back and I'm going to visit the other two, offense and unforgiveness. Because see, strife, man, I'm telling you, to walk around in this strife in the home, that's just not good. So how do we overcome frustrations? Number one, you have to understand that your spouse is not a mind reader, or your mate or your children. They're not mind readers. Now, this is something that I had to work on because I thought my wife would just know. Don't she know this? Don't you just? No, she don't know. She's not that kind of doctor. She don't read minds, right? You have to tell people what's on your mind. People, you can't just expect your spouse to know. I was ministering to a gentleman a couple of weeks ago, and I was telling him the same thing. I was saying, man, you have to tell your person, you have to tell them, hey, listen, this is what I want. You have to tell them, and you have to expect people not to just know what you want. Then I'm reading. Number 2, take your relationship off autopilot. Autopilot is a drive to destruction. It's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time. Take your relationship off autopilot, man. It's just a matter of time. Take it off autopilot, and you need to really, really seek God on how you need to. Well, God, what do I need to do? I got to change to make this better. Okay? Take it off autopilot because it's just a matter of time. Okay? Number 3, clearly state your expectations. Your wife is not a mind reader. Take your relationship off autopilot and clearly state your expectations. What is it that you want? And be clear. Let me share this story with you. And I know my wife is listening. She's going to probably kill me when I tell you this story, but I got to tell you this story. When my wife and I first got married, when my wife would come to bed, she would go to bed like she was going hunting for polar bears. I mean, she would go to bed like, I was like, Kim, why are you wearing all these clothes? I mean, Lord have mercy. I mean, and I'm already hard-natured, but you have to clearly lay the expectations, what you want and what you desire. I don't understand why. What are we hiding from each other? Tell your spouse what you want. This is what turns me on. This is what turns me off. Don't do that. Do this. Come on, you just got to be honest, guys. Ladies, and you got to be honest with your children. You got to be honest with them. Hey, listen, man. Today, give you case in point. I was studying, preparing for today. My son, Dylan, comes up, and he was talking about this boxing match in the middle of me studying. And I was a little abrasive. I said, hey, man, don't you see I'm studying? I said, tell me this later, but I'm studying right now. But I had to clearly lay the expectation because anybody know my son, Dylan, that would have probably been a 30-minute conversation. But what I'm saying is now, I probably should have said that better. But in a relationship, you have to lay out the expectation, guys. Clearly lay out the expectation. Listen, I don't want you going to bed like you cutting trees. Tell your wife that. Tell your husband, listen, when you leave the gym, go work out. When you finish working out, go take a shower because you smell, you stink. Brush your teeth before you come to bed. Don't be in my face kissing me and you got stinky breath. You stink. Guys, you just got to be honest, man. Clearly lay out the expectation. Don't leave it open for guessing and wondering. Clearly lay out the expectation. Clearly say what you want. That'll eliminate the frustration instead of you sitting there just, oh, why they can't see this? Oh, why they can't see this? They can't see it because they don't read minds. They can't see it because you didn't tell them. Clearly lay out the expectation and tell them what you want. Then number 4, last one, stop keeping score. Stop keeping score. Keep a score. What do you mean by that? This will alleviate the frustration. Let me deal with your children first. When you're dealing with your children and you're correcting them, correct them for what they've done right then. Don't pull up now, you did, so nope. Let's deal with right now. That's one of the things I remember when I was coaching football. And I learned this from a coach. He told me this. He said, listen, man, he said, never challenge your kids' confidence. Always challenge their technique and what you see being displayed on the field. Deal with that. Don't take it personal and start dealing with all this other stuff. and keep a score, and you talking to you tallying stuff up. Deal with this situation right now, because they'll never win that argument. Even in a marriage, they'll never win that argument. My wife used to say we arguing with ghosts. Listen, I'm going to deal with this situation right here that is in front of me right now. See, the reason you keep going back and bringing stuff back to the forefront is because you haven't forgiven, and there's strife in your home. Okay, and those two things, offense and strife, will destroy your marriage. I wish I could deal with those tonight, but I don't have enough time. I'm out of time. Okay, but you want to make sure that you stop keeping score. Stop. Hey, listen. We're going to deal with today. One of my favorite scriptures says this. The Bible says his mercies, he's talking about God's mercies, are new every morning. His mercies are new every morning. God didn't hold you accountable for what happened yesterday and the day before that and the day before that and the day before that. He's dealing with right now. His mercy is new each morning. So if God's mercy is new every morning, then why do we keep holding our spouse, or why do we keep holding our children to this rap sheet? Come on, guys, we got to do better. They deserve better. You deserve better. You deserve peace of mind. And I believe it'll take your relationship or your marriage to the next level. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this series. What does love look like? I hope out of this series you've gotten a picture of what love looks like. What is the expectations of love and those different things. I hope that was the premise of it. I hope it was a blessing for you. On next week, I'll start a new series on dealing with God help me. My mind is under attack, and we'll be dealing with how to overcome stress, worry, and fear and discouragement. My wife will be ministering on Thursday. She's doing a powerful series, guys, called The Four Destructive Wives. So please tune in, continue to follow us. Please like the video, share it. Guys, we believe in God for our network to grow. God is opening some major doors for us. So continue to pray with us. Continue to partner with us. You can partner with us, guys, and help us take this ministry beyond beyond the four walls of the church and to the nation. God bless you. Thank you so much. We'll see you on Monday.
Thank you so much for supporting The Way of Success and George Johnson Ministries. Our ministry started from humble beginnings in Prattville, Alabama, with a clear word from the Lord. We preach the word, help the hurting, and love people. Our vision is quite clear. We reach the lost, transform lives, and equip believers to live in victory, success, and triumph. We operationalize the vision by the church going beyond its four walls and into the community using the platforms of television, radio, social media, conferences, and much more. Please partner with us today. You can do so by downloading the Givelify app. When you download the app, go to the search engine and type in The Way of Success Christian Fellowship. Under city and state, type in McDonough, Georgia. The rest is easy. Thank you again for supporting The Way of Success and George Johnson Ministries.